Every single game on the board for a very busy December 7th in the NHL. Guys, great to be here with you as always every single Saturday to give out one pick at least on every single game on the board. Last Saturday, we did pretty well. We cashed some underdog tickets, some good total bets, some money lines. Today, I'm looking at a lot of totals, guys. So we'll bear with me with the sides, but a lot of totals today. And we're going to rapid fire go through all kinds of great picks here in the NHL. Of course, we're off that 5% winner on Thursday. It was a slight down day on Friday. We're back in action, ready for a big day here on Friday and Saturday, excuse me. And because I'm doing these videos, WagerTalk gave me a really, really good deal here. Promo code NET49, promo code NET49 will give you a week of all of my best bets in the NHL for $49. Again, we're on a 9-2 run with the 5% NHL plays. Those go for $35 alone. So this is a great deal to get all of my plays for 1 week, $49, $7 a day, and you're going to save $30. So it's a great deal. You guys can join me, of course, at wagertalk.com, wt.buzz/AM. But let's get right to the picks. All right, early start, Bruins and Flyers. We're going to go under 5.5, contrary to belief, even though we have seen some games with a few goals here. I'm still not buying into this Boston Bruins defense. I'm not. I feel like it has not, excuse me, the Boston Bruins offense, it has not gotten too much better since the coach firing. And a lot of the games they have looked good in, they still haven't scored that many goals. You know, they put up goals against the Islanders, sure. Put up goals against the Canadiens, sure. But their last game, look, I still was not really convinced that they're this offensive juggernaut. And I know that that's why it's a reflection of the 5.5 total. But I think we're going to see a defensive effort from both the Flyers and the Bruins. Early start. And the Bruins are used to these early starts. So are the Flyers. I get it. Early start here, but I'm still taking the under 5.5, looking for a defensive and goaltending showdown in this one. Next one for me, Buffalo, big losing streak for them, lost a handful of games in a row, including that game for them against the Avalanche guys where they were up 4-0 and they ended up losing 5-4 in that game. That was crazy. Couldn't believe to see that. But when I look at this game overall, I got to take the fresher team. I got to take the team with the fresh legs. I got to take Utah here. Slight underdogs. You can get them at even money. Utah has not played a game since Monday. So, I mean, they're going to be extremely fresh. I understand Buffalo's motivated. I understand that they're going to be hungry to get back on track, to get a win. But I really do like this spot for the Utah Hockey Club. And for me, Utah, when they've been in advantageous spots and they've been in spots they can take advantage of, they've got the job done. You know what I mean? And this is a spot here again on a Saturday where they should be extremely well rested, have the game plan, have the film watched, and be ready to rock here and use their energy to catch Buffalo off guard because Buffalo's defense has not been good whatsoever. All right, sticking to the theme with the total bets here, we're going to go Winnipeg and Chicago over 5.5. So earlier we had under 5.5 with Philadelphia and Boston. This one's going to be over 5.5, Jets and Blackhawks. The main reason for liking this over is simple. It's because I think this Winnipeg team is not going to be complacent. Winnipeg has not looked great lately. They've dropped a handful of games. Thank God for the really good start they had to the season because they have really slowed down production-wise. And so I feel like they will not take Chicago lightly whatsoever. And despite some recent numbers, Chicago has been playing a little bit better offensively. Their power plays look better. And of course, we have the whole bump of firing their coach, right? The firing coach angle usually leads to goals, usually leads to offense. And I understand, hey, you know, maybe it could lead to a defensive play, but I don't think they're going to be able to stop the Winnipeg Jets. So I think we're going to see a fire lit under the Chicago team after they fired their coach, but I don't think that's going to stop the goals from happening in this game. I love the 5.5 number. We'll go over 5.5, Winnipeg and Chicago, but very curious to see how they do after firing their coach, as most teams do get a spark from that, but we'll see if Chicago is capable of getting a spark from that at all. All right, let's go to the next one. Islanders 1-5, their last 6 game. Islanders Hurricanes here. I just think that overall, the boring hockey is going to have to end for them. They're going to have to try and create some chances. They're going to have to try and be a little bit more high scoring. And if that's the case, they're going to open things up. They're going to create some open ice. And I'm going to have to look at the team total over 3.5 for the Carolina Hurricanes, a team that we've made money on this season, betting team totals. There's no doubt about it. Their most recent game on Thursday, they put up a 5-piece on the Avalanche, but they have struggled recently. They lost to the Kraken. They lose back-to-back games to Florida. So this is a spot where, again, they will be motivated because they're coming in here with just one win in their last 4 games. Prior to that, they did put up 4 goals on New York. They put up 6 goals on the Stars. This team is more than capable of putting up goals. And you know what? At the same time here, guys, this is a New York Islanders team that is in a really tough spot right now. They're not playing good hockey. And, they're going to have to open things up, but I'm not sure it's going to benefit them. So we'll see what ends up happening. But I think that because they're going to try to open things up to try and create more chances, it's going to end up coming back to haunting them. So we'll see how this game goes as far as the full game total is concerned. But I do think Carolina gets us to 4 goals, and that's a great price at -105. With that one. Again, guys, you guys can see it at the bottom of your screen if you want to join me for all of my best bets, all of my hockey plays. I got a good card going today in the NHL. I'm excited about it. I got a few best bets, a few 3%, 2 4%, looking like 2 4%, waiting for goaltending information for some of the plays. But again, guys, promo code is NET49, NET49. A week of NHL, just $49, saving $30 at WT.buzz/AM. If you guys watch me on Puck Time, if you guys watch me throughout the week, if you're following me on X, this is the time. If you don't want to join for a month or for the full season, $49 for just 7 days, net 49. We're going to make some money today in the NHL. Super excited about it. And let's try and have ourselves a really big day. San Jose Sharks and the Florida Panthers. How about this Sharks team, guys? They're a team that's really gotten it going. And when I say gotten it going, yeah, they've actually won some games, but they've started to score, which is a little bit interesting. Like they had a game where they scored 8 goals against Seattle. They put up 7 goals on the Kings. But man, did they ever get humbled? When they played against the Tampa Bay Lightning? And now it's not going to get easier for them when they have to play against the Florida Panthers. And I'm just looking at the scores here because I couldn't remember that the score of that Flyers and Panthers game, 7-5. So this is the thing, is that Florida will not be happy the fact they gave up 5 goals to Philadelphia. This is a spot where I think they're going to be real disappointed in a win. And when you get a team disappointed in a win, I think they really come out, playing strong defensively. And you look at San Jose, well, they had a really tough defensive game. They lost 8-1, against the Tampa Bay Lightning. So they're going to do everything in their power to put forward a good defensive effort in this one. I believe Blackwood will be the goaltender in this one. So it's going to be a tough play to make here, guys. But I think the play to make in this game is the under 6.5. You got a Florida team that just gave up 5 goals despite getting a win. And we have a San Jose team that just lost 8-1. This is a spot here where I have to look towards betting on the under San Jose and Florida. Moving forward to the next one, Colorado and Detroit. When I take a look at this game, this is actually a spot here, guys, where I think we could see the Red Wings put together a good effort. They lose to the Canucks. They lose to the Devils. They lose to the Bruins. They lose to the Senators. They're pretty much only beating teams that aren't very good. They beat Calgary that was on the downswing. They beat the Islanders, who just aren't beating anybody right now. But you take a look at the price on this one, on nearly a -200 price tag for the Colorado Avalanche. The Colorado's been playing some really tough opponents lately. So if you want to go ahead and take the money line, all the power to you. But I kind of like a small lean here on the over 2.5 team total goals for the Detroit Red Wings. The goaltending has not been good for Colorado, guys. And I know they traded for Wedgwood, and I know that Georgiev is capable of bouncing back, but their goaltending has not been good. This is going to be a desperate, motivated Detroit Red Wings team that I really do think is capable of putting a few goals on the board. So whether it's the +1.5, whether you're stepping out with the money line, or whether you want to go with me on the over 2.5 team total for the Detroit Red Wings, some people don't like doing that because you're playing a minus on a favorite or on an underdog, but I think it's well worth it in this spot. I do think that they get to 3 goals. So obviously I wouldn't talk anybody off the full game over in this one either. Toronto and Pittsburgh. This is, of course, a second half of a back-to-back for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've been playing some really, really good hockey, but they did lose last night. And, of course, you have the Pittsburgh Penguins, who also second half of a back-to-back for them. When I look at this one, when I have two teams playing second half of a back-to-back, typically you look towards fatigue, right? You look towards overs. And yesterday, I really liked the under in the Maple Leafs game against the Washington Capitals. They end up losing that game, but it goes under the total. Pittsburgh loses 4-2 to the New York Rangers. This is one where I think we finally see a little bit of a breakout game with the Maple Leafs. They've been playing some really good hockey. They've been winning 3-1, 4-1 games. And then last night, they kind of lost a game like that themselves. Pittsburgh will not be happy with only scoring 2 goals themselves, but yet we're not seeing 6.5. We're seeing 6 as the total. I think the over 6 is a good play. Wouldn't talk anybody off team total over 3.5 for the Maple Leafs. And it's one of those spots, guys, where how I was going to play the Maple Leafs today was all dependent on how their game went yesterday. And because they lost, I'm a little bit more intrigued. If they would have won that game convincingly, I might want to stay away from betting on the Maple Leafs in this one. So Maple Leafs team total, full game over. Pittsburgh and Toronto is a good look, something that I can definitely get behind. Nashville and the Ottawa Senators. Let's go with over 1.5 in the first period here, guys. This system has been working extremely well. Nashville Predators shut out against the Montreal Canadiens. I was super excited about that as a fan. Montembeault shut out the Predators on Thursday night, which means we have the system in play over 1.5 in the first period when a game involves a team coming off a shutout, and a rare 2-1 victory for the Ottawa Senators. Usually when they win, guys, they're putting up a handful of goals. It's not a usual thing for them to win by only scoring 2 goals, but they did that. And they had success, so we'll see if we see more of a breakout game. I'm shocked to see a 5.5 as the total in that one, but that also means, guys, we're getting a fantastic price on the over 1.5 in the first period. That will be a client play, guys, so make sure you're following along with that one. Washington Capitals, Montreal Canadiens. Look, all of you guys know I'm a Montreal Canadiens fan. There's no denying that. This team has looked different since Patrick Laine took over. He's got a goal in both games so far. They finally have a little bit of depth now, more of a top 6. The bottom 6 playing well with Jake Evans. The penalty kill is one of the best in the league. Sam Montembeault will make his 3rd straight start coming off that shutout. But the Capitals, again, kind of like similar to what I said about the Toronto and how I would feel about them against Pittsburgh. It would be different if they won yesterday versus if they lost. Well, because Washington won, I feel like there's going to be a little bit less motivation there. You know what I mean? Like if you have a good team second half of a back-to-back, because Washington's actually been good second half of a back-to-back. You have a good team second half of a back-to-back, I would almost prefer that they won the first leg. That way they're not extremely motivated and pissed off going into the second leg. That's kind of the case here for Washington. So I do have a slight lean towards Montreal, but I don't like the number I'm getting overall. I do think overall we've seen a few under games in a row. Like I said, Montembeault's been playing well. The defense has been good. The Habs have been taking penalties, but they're also creating chances themselves. Wouldn't shock me to see a higher scoring game in this one. Wouldn't shock me to see this game get to at least 6 goals, but lean to the Habs, lean to the over in this game. I'm curious to see what kind of Capitals team we see come out. Back-to-back times here, guys, this week where the Montreal Canadiens had the advantage. Nashville was second half of a back-to-back after playing Toronto on Wednesday, and now Washington second half of a back-to-back after playing Toronto on Friday. So definitely beneficial for the Canadiens, and we'll see if they can take advantage of it. And guys, one final reminder, that promo code NET49, if you guys want to join me, you want all my plays for the next week, next 7 days in the NHL, NET49 saves you $30. It's a great deal. WT.buzz/AM. You guys can sign up with me. And when you sign up and you go to your profile page, you're going to see every play that I've released, every play I've bet personally, and every play that we're rocking with for tonight. Last 2 games, Minnesota Wild and the Kings. This LA Kings team, guys, they've got a lot of fight in them. The last time that I bet on them, they gave me a really good win. They were down 2-0. They came back. They win 3-2. They had great goaltending. They battled until the end quite a bit. This Minnesota team will be on the second half of a back-to-back, but it's almost like they just cruised to a victory. You know, nothing was really that special for them last night. Just absolutely dominant in their win last night on Friday. You know, this is one of those ones where I'm seeing LA as a massive favorite. It's a tough travel spot for Minnesota. I don't like that price, though, one bit. I'm tempted by the dog here. Maybe we'll do a little sprinkle here. Plus 135 in the Minnesota Wild. They're a great team, despite it being a second half of a back-to-back. I don't think LA is good enough to be warranting that number, even with the situational spot that they are in. Okay, guys, last game here. And this one is interesting because the St. Louis Blues have most certainly looked like a different team since Jim Montgomery took over. 4-3 win over the Blues, 4-1 win over the Jets, 3-2 loss in overtime against the Philadelphia Flyers, 3-0 win over the Devils, and a 5-2 win over the Rangers. This team has not lost in regulation since firing their coach. Very, very impressive. You love to see it, and they've played extremely well. Edmonton off a game where they absolutely beat the brakes off the Columbus Blue Jackets. They got off to a really good start. They've been a big first period team, and St. Louis has looked like they've gotten off to a much better start this season, or I guess with their new head coach, Jim Montgomery. You guys know where I'm going here. Last game of the night, last play of the night, first period, over 1.5 goals, minus 130. Blues and Oilers. Wouldn't mind sprinkling both teams to score. I think both teams get on the board early and often in this game. Let's rock, guys. Let's have a great, great Saturday in the NHL. Let's make some money and let's cash tickets on all of these games. Wishing you all best of luck. I'll see you Monday on Puck Time. And again, if you want to join me for my packages, that's the way to do it. Forget about paying $25 for one pick. You can pay $49 and get every single pick that I release for the entire next week. Net 49 is your promo code. For now, guys, hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time right here on WagerTalk TV.